Hey, it's Game Hydro. I've got another video for you about Lands of Jail, and this video is going to be a tier list of the best epic heroes, the best SR heroes. We're going to completely ignore the legendary heroes, and we're only talking about epic heroes, and this is actually for a pretty good reason, which is that for most players that are not pay-to-win players, for free players or for players that aren't ultra advanced, you are going to get far more use out of epic heroes than legendary heroes, for the simple reason that you can star up your legendary heroes and increase their tier, and that leads to massive increases in statistics. Like, for example, look at this. You get more shards pretty frequently when you do summons, whereas with the SSR heroes, the legendary ones, you do not get that many shards. I mean, it's rare enough to get one, let alone all of the SSR heroes. You barely get any shards that allow you to tier them up. So you end up with a situation where an SR, for example, look at Loili right here, has far more power than Tormund. 98,000 to 58,000. So yeah, we're going to talk about the best of the SR heroes in the entire game. All right. Starting off, we got Flora, the Wildlife Explorer. Go to the top left, you can see the different types. Her hero role is a shooter, and she is a military hero. So all that means basically is her skills tend more toward battle as opposed to construction. Now we're going to take a look at her stats. Click on this hamburger menu in the bottom right corner, and right now you see her current stats, but if you hit that little magnifying glass on the piece of paper above that, you will see not only her maximum stats, but her maximum skill stats. So, as you can see here, her hit points are pretty high at max. Defense is slightly higher than attack, but not enough to call her a tank. Now, from what we've seen so far, there are far less statistical differences between the stats of the SRs as opposed to the stats of the SSRs. Matter of fact, the stats of the SSRs, it can get a little bit weird. All right, let's see what we got. So under arrest skills, Annihilation Barrage shoots in a fan-shaped area, dealing damage equal to 300%. Marking shots fires one shot to the target, dealing damage equal to 180 and increasing damage taken by 20% for 3 seconds. Efficiency gunpowder increased crit rate by 20. All right, so marking shot increases damage a lot. Those, I don't know that those skills are really impressing me that much. I'm gonna be honest. All right, now in war, increases expedition speed by 100% during monster hunting. Rallies her troops, helping them fight on with grit. Geez, this sounds like an EPR bullet from the Air Force. AKA usually 50% BS, if not more than 100%. After battle, 10% of severely wounded soldiers are converted to lightly wounded. All right, that's not bad, I guess. Now to draw a comparison to begin with. By the way, if you want to remember what my tier list is, I'll be honest, I don't have the software or hardware to make tier lists quickly, so please grab a pen and paper. So for comparison's sake, we're going to go to Gird the Justice. That is shield bearer and military hero. Looking at the overall stats, the defense is far higher than the attack, and the hit points are almost twice as high as Flora. Stats we got here. Laser Eye deals area of effect equal to 265 in a fan-shaped area. Deals AoE equal to 190% of attack and knocks the enemies within range back. When hit points are higher than 40%, reduces damage taken by 45%. All right, so that's an interesting reversal of some of the tank skills I usually see, is that they will reduce damage taken when hit points are low enough. This one reduces damage taken when hit points are high enough. Kind of bizarre. Increase all allied troop defense by 25. Enemy troops attack reduced by 20%. All right. So, I, I mean, I like that it's a I like that it's an area of effect damage, but it doesn't really blow my skirt up per se. Knockback, pretty decent, but other than that, it does the exact same thing as the other skill, but weaker. And the damage reduction one is pretty nice, though, because it means that Gird will, if Gird is in your arrest party, will stick around for quite a while. All right. Now, let's go to... All right. Most of the names are completely bat-esque crazy in this game. Loili, I don't think anybody has ever been named Loili. If your name is Loili and I am wrong, feel free to blow me up. All right. Loili has about the same amount of stats, or the same stats in general as Flora, because Loili and Flora are the same type in both areas. Shooters and military hero. So skill-wise, we got Snipe. Locks onto the target, dealing damage equal to 560% attack. Now, doesn't say how she decides on the target, though. Fires one shot to the target, dealing damage equal to 210%. That seems like a hell of a drop in damage compared to the other one. But let's keep reading. After every 3 basic attacks, the next one is guaranteed to be a crit. So, at its max, 25% crit rate. I'm actually not arguing with that. That's a pretty good crit rate. War increases allied troops by 25%. All troops have a 50% chance to increase their damage by 50% when attacking. All right. So, with our first 3 out of the way, let's make tiers. First off, Flora. This is pretty good area of effect damage right here. I don't mind that. Increasing their damage taken by 20% for 3 seconds actually has quite a bit of an effect. Now, that is not area of effect. That is targeting 1. Increases crit rate by 20%. Not bad. Expedition speed. I like increasing expedition speed. The wounded one. I'm going to give her a B+ tier. Nothing is really impressing me enough to make it A tier, but the high damage area of effect, that's pretty good. All right. Moving on to Gird. Let's see what we got for Gird. So Gird is a tank, obviously. Damage is decent. Reducing the hit rate of these targets will help all of your party members, not just Gird. Knockback, that'll help all your party members. Reduces damage by 45% will only help Gird, but that will help Gird a ton. I'm giving Gird A tier. I like a character with some skills like that. Loili, that is an F tier name, but let's go with Snipe, is pretty strong, especially when it's only at level 1. It's still 400%. Death Blow, fires one shot, dealing 10% or 210% damage. Oh, man. I'm not impressed by Death Blow. There's no secondary skill there. The high crit rate is pretty legit, though, at a high level. I'm going... man. Damage equal to 560% attack. All allied troops attack. 50% chance to increase their damage by 50% when attacking. That's pretty strong in wars. Arrest is decent. I'm going B tier because the lack of... the high damage isn't enough to make up for lack of area effect. And that second skill having absolutely 0 secondary effect is just strange. Moving on to Mia, the Wild Rose. She's also a shooter. So the stats are the same as the other shooters. Fires 3 grenades to targets, each dealing 90% of area of effect damage. So combine the 3 together, assuming they would go after the same target, and that's 270%. That's decent. Increases damage dealt by 30%. All right, not bad. Is it stackable? If it were stackable, that'd be incredible. Increases attack speed by 30%. All right, so increasing attack and attack speed, that's actually pretty good, especially when the main attack is an area of effect attack, or the main skill at least. Decreases stamina consumption for expeditions by 20. Increases expedition speed by 100% during monster hunting. I'm giving her an A tier. I like the combination she's got a lot. That's one of the better shooters. Now, keep in mind, viewers, when I'm doing the tiers, I'm only comparing SRs to SRs. I'm not doing the stupid thing that other tier list makers do, where they're automatically giving SRs a B tier and automatically giving legendaries an S tier. No, I'm comparing SRs to SRs because any idiot can figure out that higher rarity typically equals better. But let's all compare them by the same rarity. All right. We got Plato over here. Developmental hero, not a military hero. So that probably means that the skills are going to be a little more attuned to building up your prison. Shooter, so pretty well balanced skills. Stats. Twilight Vigil grants a shield equal to 220% attack to the 2 allies with the lowest hit points that lasts for 6 seconds. Headshot, 220% and a knockback to 1 target. Law of Survival, defense increases by 24%. Reduces allied troops' damage taken by 20%. Increases medical stations' healing speed by 50%. All right, this one kind of gets me because those are really good tank skills, but Plato is not a tank. He's a balanced one. Still, though, those skills are nice to have in the party because they kind of defend everybody. Especially the ones with the lowest hit points being defended. The more you can keep in your party at a time, the better. I'm going A+ for Plato's. Flameborn minion in Tahhun. Let's see. That is a bomber and a military hero. Defense is higher than attack. So that's almost a tank type, but the hit points are not as high as the other tank type that we had. Bipolar Star. So Bipolar Star. Is this the Kanye move? Minion fires a machine gun 3 times each attack, dealing damage equal to 97%. Then Tahhun launches a powerful shell at a single target, dealing damage equal to 96. That's actually pretty excellent. After every 4 basic attacks, Tahhun launches 2 shells at a single enemy target, each dealing area of effect damage to 52%. After each basic attack, increases attack speed by 9% for 4 seconds. Stackable. All right, that's actually pretty good. Tacit Strike, damage increased by 30% attacking a wild monster. Reduces enemy defenses by 20%. Pretty unique set of skills here. I like the defense reduction. I like the stackable instant fire. The attack speed increase. So you get attack and defense boost here. So this is actually a pretty good support troop here. Good addition to your party. And I like the combination of the machine guns and the powerful shell in the same basic attack. Excuse me. It's too late at night. I'm going to give this dude an S minus because the skill is that good, and so is the attack and defense boost. All right. Lunarl, the Night Spectre. So this is an F tier name, but let's see how she is. She's a bomber. So her skills are the same as whatever the other two's names were back there. Shit. Flameborn and Minion and Tahhun. Snowveil Slash. Whips enemies in a fan-shaped area, dealing area damage equal to 75% every half a second for 2 seconds. 75. Okay, so that's a total of 300% area damage in a fan shape. That's nothing to sneeze at. Basic attacks reduce defense hit of targets hit by 20% for 3 seconds. Increases damage dealt by 30 seconds. Alright, so damage reduction and defense increase all in the same person. Basic attacks reduce defense of targets. Okay. Increase allied troops damage by 25%. Increase allied troops damage. Increase all allied troops lethality by 25%. Oh, lethal. Anyways. Yeah. Stats are good. Now, with this one and the other bomber, notice that the attack is about halfway between the balance type and the straight tank. So, the attack is still pretty good. The defense is high enough to last a while. And I like that fan shape skill a lot. And also the damage reduction, the defense reduction and the attack damage increase. And damage reduction on the targets helps everybody, so I'm going A tier with her. Gimes the Gladiator. That's a hell of a name. This one's a bomber and a military hero. So the stats are about the same as Lunarl. Let's see what the skills are. Oh, restores hit point to all allies equal to 42% of attack for 5 seconds. When hit points fall under 50%, restores hit points equal to 120% of attack every 4 seconds. Increases damage dealt by adrenaline units by 7%. And in war, increases hit points by 25%. Reduces all allied troops damage taken by 20%. Alright. So, at no point would I have guessed before this that a dude that looks like him would be a healer, but you know what? Good on Lands of Jail for breaking stereotypes. It's about time. I'm giving Gimes S tier because he just makes me happy and because healers are insanely valuable in any group that you got. And not only is he the only healer so far, but his healing skills are actually pretty good. Next up, we got another bomber, Echo the Soaring Falcon. She's also a developmental hero, so very good construction type. So stats are the same as all the bombers. Blitzfire. Fires 4 bullets at a single target, each dealing damage equal to 122% of attack. So that's 245, 490, 490% total attack damage. That's very strong. Good to use against extra strong characters on opposing parties, especially when you're just trying to get quick kills or a character that is overpowered compared to the other characters. All right. Suppressive Fire fires 1 shot to a single target, dealing 180 and reducing their attack speed by 50% for 3 seconds. So reducing attack speed, that'll help everybody out. Increases attack speed by 30%. Sorry, that was a yawn. Increases lethality by 20%. Increases resource gathering speed by 25%. All right, resource gathering speed. Okay, so when you get that one up to level 5, because at level 1 it's just 5%. That's not that great. But when you have her skill up to 5 damn it, up to 5% for scavenge, that shows a noticeable difference and helps you not only train troops faster, but do construction faster and do a whole host of other stuff faster. So I'm going S tier for Echo here too, because you gotta give it up for that. And now the last SR, we got Sumo Tyrant or Owado. He's a shield bearer, so his stats are going to be very much centered for defense and hit points. And he's a military hero. Plus, he's also featured in the event now where you can give him food gifts and he gives you rewards. Now it's calling him Iwakado. Not avocado. Iwakado. Alright. Crushing Palm. Area damage in a fan shape equal to 204%, reducing the attack speed of affected targets by 8%, lasting for 2 seconds. That attack power is not impressing me. Whirlpool deals 3 instances of area damage equal to 128. Wait, 3 instances of 128, reducing the target's attack by 5% for 3 seconds. Alright, 3 instances of 128 is equal to, let's see, what's 256 plus 128? That's like 380 something. I don't know. That's by far the strongest of the middle skills that I've seen from any SR so far. That's really good. The number 1 skill, that makes up for the number 1 skill. And at least the number 1 skill still has attack speed decrease, even if it's not that much. Yokozuna Demon increases defense by 24, increases allied troop defense by 14%, hit points by 12, reduces opposing troops' lethality by 20%. I just thought I should clarify that it is indeed reduction of opposing troops' lethality, not your own troops' lethality. Alright, that's a killer defense booster. AoE damage equal to 204. This is a pretty high damage skill, but its effectiveness is going to be diminished a little bit by the fact that he's a tank and not a balance type. So I'm going to go, you know what, let me take a look at the other tank over here, Gird, and compare the skills again, because I got to compare tank to tank. Laser Eye, knockback, hit rate reduced, Indomitable, Gird is an A tier, but I'm going to have to go S tier for Sumo Guy, Iwado, whatever, because the skills are more tanky to me. Alright, so that is all of the SSRs. This has been Game Hydro. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked this video, because these SSRs often tend to be the workhorses in this game. So please like and subscribe if you enjoy what we are doing.